Hi and welcome to Monday Live, and another week is starting. We are still in Preemptember, but it is our last week of Preemptember. And of course, what happens after Preemptember? It is of course Greedober. Greedober, we move into duplicate pairs territory and focusing on over tricks. But next month actually we're focusing on the defence against pairs contracts. And therefore the opposite side of that, where keeping declarer to making just maybe 10 tricks gets you a good score because they could have made an extra trick. So Greedober, but from a different direction, shall we say. So, but we're still preempting today and hopefully for another week. And today we are focusing on the examples that you have sent in. And I'd like to thank you very much for those examples. Lots and lots of different types. So, some good stuff coming in there. What else? Well, we had teams fun last week, very close, really good fun that was. I was a bit loud at times, I apologise for that. And we've got the prize teams this week, so that should be fun. Just a quick note, on the website you will see the calendar. There are a few changes, just subtle ones, over the coming months around the teams, because I happen to be away on a few Wednesdays, so sometimes there'll be the odd game on a Tuesday, once I think on a Tuesday and once on a Thursday, so have a look ahead there. I will of course pre-warn you of these, but we thought that it would be nice to keep it live, but basically shift it one day or other. There'll also be one where I will do a pairs game, which I will record, and I'll again tell you when that pairs game will be. We've got lots of changes coming up. We are relaunching the website. That's mid-October, so it's coming up. It's quite exciting. We've got obviously a lot of it will be similar, but we'll have a slightly new homepage. We're going to try and organise the huge amount of content there into more easily manageable chunks. So if you wanted to look at end play, for example, we'll put it all together for you. Well, lots of end play hands and a little bit of a seminar and those kind of things, and you'll then be able to have a go. And we'll even give you stars if you do these courses and things like that. Give you the marks for your quizzes. We'll allow them to tot up as well. So there'll be all sorts of things coming. So hopefully you're going to enjoy that, those members, and also hopefully encourage a few people to re-sign up or sign up for the first time. So that is exciting. What's going on in terms of holidays? Well, we've got this new holiday in Cornwall, a Lanhydrock Hotel. That is on the 28th of November of this year. It's a 5-day one. We had fun. We've had fun in the March, doing a bit deeper down in Cornwall, down in Falmouth. And so the girls have put this one on for me, which is again will have included tours as well as the seminars and things like that. So I think you'll get to see Eden Project and those kind of things, and it's rather nice with a balance of a garden or two. So yeah, hopefully that is exciting. Someone saying about the beginners, we'll be getting all those beginners stuff does get together, funnily enough. It gets together in the beginners section, and it will gradually be amounting to a lot more. A few more need to be edited though, so give us a bit of time on that one. Of course, there's 2 bridges in Devon. Now, I will admit that both of these are down in the southwest. We are actively looking for hotels further north, so please bear with us on that one. So Yorkshire is our place that we're looking at the moment, and we are hopeful of being able to find somewhere so that we can do some events there next year. On that note, unfortunately, the old barn, which we've used a lot, we may not be using it next year. So if you want to go to the old barn, you've got the chance there this year. And in fact, we've got a Twixmas and a New Year event there. But unfortunately, next year we may not be there because the prices have gone up so astronomically high that we didn't feel we were able to cope with that price rise. I mean, usually we're dealing with price rises. Of course, we are dealing with price rises all around, as you'd expect. But but it was slightly too high, so we'll see. But we are looking to find new hotels, so if you've got ideas, please send them in. We are very keen. And the same goes, I suppose, overseas. When you talk about Tunisia, which has been a favourite destination of mine for so long. I've been there on and off since 2000. I think I've been there for, how many times? 20 times, let's say. I'd say 20 times I've been to Tunisia. And of course, there's also Croatia and Mallorca. So you've got a lovely choice there. Tunisia is on the 24th of March with Gowie. I think Gowie and his wife Leslie will be leading that one. So do look into that. And as I say, Mallorca and Croatia. And then, of course, you've got Fred Olsen, who we are enjoying a relationship with. We've still got a few really good singles offers, so look out for those. And where am I going this year? Next year, I should say. I am doing the Northern Lights in March. I am doing the German Rivers, I think, in April, he says. And then I'm doing the fjords with my family in August. Alfie's favourite ship is the Balmoral. So he's coming on board again. Bear in mind that's probably the only name of a ship he knows. Oh, he knows the Titanic as well. So the good news is Balmoral is ahead of the Titanic. So there you go. So what have we got today? We'll have the bidding quiz at the end. We'll have our hand evaluation. Now, those of you who've been on with me on Friday will know that we've had this one at least 2 times already. So let me just show you that. So this is your hand. And the bidding goes like this. And what we're going to do is, as usual on this one is points. We talk about giving an accurate count of the points. So we're trying to work out how many points are in our partner's hand. So let's look at the bidding. The bidding goes 1 club. Pass from us. I mean, 1 spade is a possibility. But so it goes a club, pass, a heart. Remember, we can't see their hands. It then goes 2 diamonds. Okay. 2 spades, which is alerted as 4th suit forcing, 2 no trumps from south, 3 no trumps. Okay, so that's the end of the auction. So have a look at that auction. Have a think about what you feel you might be guessing is in South's hand. Okay, and then you choose the King of Spades lead. Oh, bear with me there. You choose the King of Spades lead. And what you've got to do is assess how many points you expect to have in your partner's hand. So that's what we do on this one. And it's precisely what we are doing in the Friday sessions. The Friday sessions have been on counting, and I make no apologies to say that counting, although being a very easy thing, and Alfie seems to be getting excited about it, as it were, if you keep counting over and over and again, it can be tricky. Okay, now this is going to be really important to the play of the hand, the count that we get here. Okay, it's going to be really important. So that's that. We'll come back to that after our seminar. But as I say, it's what we're dealing with on the Fridays. So, and I'll mention our little special offer this week, which gives you a chance to see that. Okay, so we're going to look at our seminar. Now, the seminar today is going to be your hands. So we will look at those and bear with me. Just getting ready for them. So here's the PowerPoint. Let's go over here, and I'm going to start it the same way as usual. I'm going to start it with the definition of a preempt, which is so important here. Okay, a hand with few points, but with a very long suit that will make a lot of tricks in their suit, but very few in ours. So if they open 3 hearts, I can imagine that the 3-heart opener is at most likely to make 1 trick against my contract. Therefore, I should bid aggressively. However, that does not mean I bid on weak hands, but it does mean if I'm thinking of bidding, I'm going to. Okay, because it is important to try to get in. Okay. Now, reminding ourselves of our system, take out doubles. You don't have to play it, but 99.9% of the people in the world do because it is the most flexible system. Overcalls. Okay, the problem is these are often at the 4 level. If they open 3 spades, overcalls are pretty tricksy. Okay, the 3-no trump overcall. It's a really important, might sound silly, obviously it's natural, but it's an important part of your system, really important part, because you know you've got to sometimes guess that bid, and a 2-suited bid as well. Okay, we're not going to look at those today. We're not going to look at the Q bid, but we're going to look at 3 examples that were sent in. So I thank you very much for your examples, and the first one was sent in by Helen Dickinson, so thank you, Helen. Let's have a look at this one and see what we think. Okay, so it goes, I'll just switch over, of course. Here's your hand. I'm putting it on Q+, so don't forget, just a reminder, sometimes your settings will be such that it might not be so clear. You should be able to get it clear. You can hover over that cog wheel and you'll be able to get it nice and clear for you to see. Okay, so take a bit of time and get that. Make sure you can see it clearly. Okay, that's interesting. It's gone 3 hearts, 4 hearts at this table. Now it's really tough for you to bid anything. Okay, I'll tell you what happened at Helen's table in a moment. Okay, but that I think makes your eye for misery. Okay, it wasn't what I was expecting to happen either. I was expecting it to go as it did at Helen's table, but it's an interesting bid, East bid here, and so we're going to look at that. I have no idea what you should bid over that. Probably, it's all well and if you double here, I mean, what a nightmare. I think doubles probably take out here and your partner's going to bid 4 spades and you're stuffed. Isn't that horrible? I think that's really, really, really tough. I mean, 4-no trumps is not. I think it's a great bid by East. I'm going to show you what the auction went beforehand, and we'll see what bid we'll make. Okay, but here 3 hearts past 4 hearts. I think that's a great bid by East. The problem I've got with 4-no trumps is if you don't have a particular fit in the minors, whew, it's tricky. You'd love to play in 4 hearts double, but I'm not sure double is that. What do you all play 4 hearts as the double there? Really tricky. So well done, East, for making the bid. What I'm going to do though is I'm now going to change the auction. Okay, I'm going to just grab hold of East here. I'm going to show you what happened at the table. So let's just restart it. So at the table, it went 3 hearts pass, pass. Okay, and now it's your bid. Okay, so this is how it went at the table. It went 3 hearts pass, pass. What do you fancy now? And I will tell you that Helen was very pleased with herself. And she wasn't sure she'd have done it until she'd seen the seminar, but she went for 3-no trumps, as a number of you are saying now. It is a gamble, isn't it? I mean, you've got Queen Doubleton spade. West might play the Ace King of spades and take 4 more. But that's what preempts do, and we've just seen it on the previous auction. You know, you're being forced to guess it. Okay, and 3-no trumps was I think a great bid, and in fact that finished the auction off. Okay, which was rather nice. So let's look at the hands and see one, what we think about the auction here, and of course 3-no trumps was a great contract. And made quite comfortably. 3-no trumps made quite comfortably, even if they don't need a heart. You are able to make it, but on a heart lead you're looking more to over tricks rather than just making it. So Three no trumps was a great bid, but what about this 4-heart bid by East? Look at the vulnerability. So I didn't mention that. The triangles around that square in the centre. East-west are non-vulnerable. North-south are vulnerable here. East-west non-vulnerable. North-south are vulnerable. So interesting, isn't it? So East found a 4-heart bid. What do you think about that? I think it's tricky because the problem I've got with East's hand is that it's not obvious where they're making a game, and you're assuming that 4 hearts may get doubled. Now, it might not have done here, and in which case it works out nicely for you. But clearly they're not making 4 spades on this hand. You don't think so from your hand. And 3 no trumps, it's not obvious they're making either. So, but 4 hearts definitely works here. I mean, let's just so let me just go back and show you the auction that happened. It went 3 that Q Plus has just shown us, where it went 4 hearts. I've no idea what to bid. Yeah, it's really tricky, isn't it? So let's say you do bid 4 no trumps. You're probably obviously going to finish in 5 clubs then. And how would 5 clubs go? Well, the problem is that you'd probably get the ace of spades lead and then a heart switch. And it's tricky, isn't it? Wow. Can you scrape home by taking a double diamond finesse? Possibly. Yeah, if you take a deep diamond finesse, maybe you might be able to scrape home. You need a lot of entries though, don't you? My goodness. Ace, king, club, diamond to the 10, club, diamond to the queen, ace. Wow. Yes. No, I don't think you need more roughs than that. So I just don't think you can do it. I think 5 clubs is going 1 off. And that's what's so good about the thing. Let me just see what Q Plus would have done if we did double. And what would you have done if you doubled? What would you have done if South had doubled with the North hand? Let's just see what they do here. Okay, well, North has bid 4 spades, and you can see that's a bit of a disaster. So interesting. Do you know as a partnership what your double means in the auction? And if you don't, clearly you're not going to have much fun in 4 spades here. I don't think he should double. I don't think that makes sense, but you'll probably pass. And what does South bid? Maybe South bids 5 clubs, I don't know. And that's what's brilliant, isn't it? This is what preempts do. They make our life a misery. And here, well done. I mean, I think at a lot of tables it will go 3 hearts, pass, pass, and then 3 no trumps is a great bid. And I think that's going to be a common result. But yeah, I think it's a great hand. So thanks very much for that, Helen. And I'm glad you got a good score on it. But what a neat bid 4 hearts is there. Quite an interesting one. Okay, let's look at this next one. I'm going to leave all the hands open for this one. So let's just have a look at this one. This was sent in by Alan Day. And again, I think it's an interesting hand. So let's have a look. Tell you what, I'll take control of all the hands so I can. So I'm letting you see all the hands. So obviously we're going to get a 3 spade opening bid, and I found it quite interesting. So at the table, South passed this, and it went pass, pass, double from North. And actually, they finished in a reasonable 4 heart contract. But what on earth happens if it goes double? I think with a 14 count, a doubleton in spades and 4 hearts, it looks like a double for me from the South hand. I think you may miss a few games if you don't. I mean, 14 points. I know it's only a doubleton spade, but it looks like a double. If you pass, as I say, it might go, well, I would have probably doubled, and now what do you do with this North hand? what would you do with the North hand over double? Now the key is, I think North's got to bid game, and I don't think, I mean, North's not going to bid 4 hearts with just 3 hearts in his hand, surely. But with 14 points and a good 5-card suit, you've surely got... You can't just bid 4 diamonds. Remember, 4 diamonds is showing 0 points. So I'm going to be honest, I'd probably jump to 5 diamonds there. And 5 diamonds isn't a complete disaster. You've got chances. I looked at it. You've got chances, but you've got to decide who's got the King of Hearts. And if you guess that right, you might be able to scrape home in 5 diamonds. But it's amazing what preempts do. So here, I think North's got to jump to 5 diamonds there. Okay, as I say, if he bids 4 diamonds, that should end the auction. And 5 diamonds is a fascinating contract. They lead a spade probably. And I think you've got to guess who's got the King of Hearts. And if you guess it's West, you would lead a small heart early from the south hand towards the Queen. That's important. If you get it East, there's a good chance East might have a doubleton King, and therefore you might take a finesse through East. So it's a bit of a guess here. But if you do that, you may well be able to make 11 tricks in diamonds. Tricky play though, a really tricky play. However, at the other table, so what do you think about the double? So again, you've got to decide as a partnership your style. At Alan's table, it South passed. Okay, now it went pass. And it's really important that North is going to make a bid here. And I think the most flexible bid probably is double. You've got reasonable support in hearts and clubs. Yes, your best suit is diamonds, but it doesn't look like a 4 diamond over. And you'd love your partner to be able to bid 3 no trumps. You would double here. Remember, you're borrowing a king, so even if you're pessimistic about your hand, add 3 points onto the 14, 17 points is definitely enough to make a bid. Now, what do you bid with the south hand? Yeah, I agree, John. I agree. And I agree with Ken here. I think double is relatively standard in the south hand, but at the table it was a pass. Okay. And it happened to work out better for them because North doubled now for takeout. And of course, South, I think 4 hearts looks better than 3 no trumps. I mean, 3 no trumps works really, really well on the hand because it turns out, you know, you've got 9 tricks, which is easier than making 10. You've got 9 top tricks in 3 no trumps. But I think 4 hearts looks more normal because most of the time you're expecting North to have 3 hearts. And I think 4 hearts is not bad. Again, don't forget that if you are, I think you're probably going to make 3 no trumps +1 here. If you played in 3 no trumps, you'd probably want to gamble and go for an overtrick. I have to be honest. So you duck a spade, win the next, and make sure you take a heart finesse into West. And that would allow you to make 10 tricks, because 10 tricks, as we'll talk about in Greed Over a lot, 10 tricks are important because I think you're going to find that 4 hearts will probably get home here. Well, it's an interesting hand again. You know, you're likely to make, you're going to lose 2 hearts and a spade probably. Or 2 hearts and a club, depending on what happens, but more likely to, because you'll be able to discard your diamonds, your clubs on the diamonds. So 4 hearts ends up being a great contract. Can you see that? But the only way you can get it to it, I think, is an unusual pass by South. I think, as a number of people said to me, double by South is relatively standard. You've got a good opening hand, you've got 4 hearts and you're short in spades. To me, that is the definition of a takeout double. So I would want South to have doubled but you don't necessarily get to the right contract. As I think you can make 5 diamonds, but of course 5 diamonds, unfortunately, you're gonna put a lot of effort into making 5 diamonds. How do you make it? So a few of you are asking, well, you would need to lead a low heart to the queen early if you guess that West has the king. If West goes in with the king, well then you have 3 heart tricks. If West doesn't go in with the king, you'd win the queen, draw the trumps, and I think your best chance at that point is perhaps to hope that perhaps clubs are 3-3, and because they are, you might be able to make the 13th club. Okay, but and discard your heart loser, believe it or not. So if West doesn't go up with the king of hearts, you might be able to scrape home that way. But a tricky hand to play, and you'll put all that effort in. You'll put all that effort in, and you'll find that half other people are in 3 no trumps and 4 hearts and getting more points than you. So, but an interesting one. Again, it just shows you that these preemptive bids make our lives a misery. When I give you example hands, I'll give you the double and a nice 4-4 fit in the major. Okay, it's these ones where it's a little bit tricky, that if you can get on the right side of these deals. I think they finished in 4 hearts, Alan did, and of course that was a nice result. Okay, one last one. Let's look at this one again. I'll leave us so we can see all of the hands. And I was very impressed by Q+. They bid this one very, very nicely. I don't think many people will. But as you can see, you can guess what the opening bid is going to be. Everybody is vulnerable here, and a nice 3 spade bid. Remember, I don't mind preempting vulnerable. When I preempt vulnerable, I will have good suits. So the previous suit we've just seen with king queen to 7, here ace king to 7, a good robust suit. You're making a great descriptive bid here. Now I hope everybody is going to double with the West hand, and then of course it goes pass. And what are you going to bid with the East hand? Well, again, 3 no trumps is making here, but I don't think you're ever going to find it. And it's not going to be our final contract either. Okay. For me, bidding 3 no trumps on hands like this is asking for trouble. There's no reason why your partner should have the queen of spades here. And at this vulnerability, when your opponents are vulnerable, they can have ace king queen. But it's true to say that it'll often be a blocked suit. For me, with the East hand, I'm not sure I can jump to 5 diamonds here. From my point of view, I would feel that I don't think I can underwrite game if my partner's making a takeout double. So I would probably just bid 4 diamonds with this hand. I know I could have 0, but bear in mind, partner usually puts me with 6 or 7 points. So if partner has a big hand, partner can bid again. But I would just bid 4 diamonds. I don't mind 3 no trumps. It's a gamble. So why are we saying that 3 no trumps is an option? Well, how often will South have ace king queen to 7? And if South hasn't got ace king queen to 7, so often South will lead a high spade. Let's say he's got ace king to 7 here and partner's got queen doubleton. If he leads at the ace of spades, he has blocked the suit. So, or if he's got king queen to 7, he'll often lead the king of spades if he chooses to lead a spade, and again he will have blocked the suit. So 3 no trumps is definitely an option on the hand. Okay, and I don't mind it. So it's because you've got jack 10 to 3, specifically jack 10 to 3. Jack small is a little bit more ropey, but still the theory still works. The idea being that how often, particularly if South was non-vulnerable, I think 3N is probably the right bid, in the sense that with ace king queen to 7 non-vulnerable, a lot of players will open 4 spades. Vulnerable with ace king queen to 7 and out, I think they might still open 3 spades. So you've got to be a little bit careful there, because you might find yourself just losing 7 tricks. So I think 4 diamonds is reasonable here. Okay, it just goes pass. The only thing to say is, is that absolutely that West here is good enough to make another bid, clearly, and the element here is that your hand, East's hand, is a lot better for playing in the minors. You do have to bear in mind that when you bid 3 no trumps with the East hand, if you do, you can't necessarily see a path to 9 tricks. Now, clearly you can here with these 2 hands, but even if you do have a spade stopper, you aren't necessarily making 9 tricks, and that's a thing to remember. Okay, so here, 4 spades by West. Nice one there, Ruben. Absolutely. West says, partner, are you 0 points or have you got a decent hand because I've got a beautiful hand? Okay. And West does have a beautiful hand. He's got 3 aces and the king of trumps as well. So he's obviously got great diamond support. Partner, I'm going to play in 5 diamonds, but I just want to check to see if you've got a semi-decent hand, because if you have, who knows, we might make a game. A slam. So what do you think you'd bid with the East hand now? And the question is, do you have a nice hand or a rubbish hand? Well, Brian's bidding 6. I would bid 5 clubs. To me, 5 clubs is a strong bid. Okay, 5 clubs here for me is a strong bid. It would be saying, partner, look, you know, I've got a really decent hand here. I just wasn't able to express it. I don't mind 6 clubs. I think maybe that would give partner the choice of suits. I think I want to. For me, 5 clubs is just a Q bid suggesting yes, okay, partner. If you think things can go higher, I'm happy to go with you. The key is that East is excited about his hand. Do you understand that? Remember, 4 diamonds shows 0 points. Okay, 0 points. And that's why we were talking about bidding 3 no trumps, or Dimno had suggested 5 diamonds. You know, it's not far off that. It's the acelessness in the hand that has maybe held me back a little from that. But over 4 spades, I'm now excited, so I'm bidding 5 clubs. And at the and Q Plus chose to bid 6 diamonds with the West hand there. And I think that's quite nice. I think the computer did rather well on the hand there. And as you can see, 6 diamonds is a wonderful contract. It's always amazing when you'll often finish in 3 no trumps on hands like this, and then you'll suddenly realise it's not just a good slam, it's basically claim it trick 2 kind of slam. You know, they lead the ace of spades, maybe try and take the king, although they'll see the singleton there, and suddenly you just say, look, I can make all the tricks here, I just need to draw trumps and ruff a heart. So it's a lovely hand there. Sorry, rough 2 hearts, I should say. Okay. So West bid 4 spades here. Someone asking why? Because West is excited about their hand. West believes that now that you've bid 4 diamonds, partner, I think I can make a game. I've got a reasonable chance of making game if you've got, let's say, 3 or 4 points. If you've got a really decent hand, well then more. And look at East's hand. It is really decent because it's got that singleton heart, which is rather exciting. So it's looking at a 7 loser hand. So, you know, certainly if East had bid 5 diamonds, so the auction suggested by a number of you, the jump to 5 diamonds, of course, West would bid 6 diamonds. At least over 5 diamonds. So if you did bid 5 diamonds there, which I think is okay, you know, and the more I look at it, the more I'm tempted with 5 diamonds in response, actually. Well, then West is going to probably try for a grand slam, let alone a small slam. You know, so would, I don't know, possibly the easiest bid is 6 diamonds. Over 5 diamonds, I'm not sure it's very easy to try for a grand slam there. So, but if it did go 5 diamonds from East, it would be important for West to jump to then bid the slam. Okay, if East shows excitement in any way, shape or form, then West can go for it. But let's be honest, I would expect very, very few pairs to finish in 6 diamonds on those kind of hands. Preempts make our life a misery, and to be honest, we forget about slams. for the most part, we're so intent on trying to find the best game there, and we've seen with the two previous hands that getting to the right game can be really difficult. One of which, when they raised 3 hearts to 4 hearts, almost impossible to get to the right contract. And the other one, again, I felt that if the right person, in inverted commas, made the takeout double, you were going to end up in 5 diamonds, which was a lot more difficult than 3 no trumps or 4 hearts. So thank you very much for those hands. There was lots of others as well. I obviously reply to them all, but I do my best. Okay, so let's move on. I'm just going to change a few configurations again. Got to remember how I need it, and then we will. Is that the way I want it? Yep. Okay, so let's get it back up. Let's get this back up. We're back on Q Plus again. We're on this hand, don't forget. So I'm going to go through the auction again, and we're going to talk our way through it. So South opened a club. You chose to pass. You're not far off a 1 spade overcall, I'd admit. If I throw the 9 or 10 of spades in there, I might have done it. 1 heart from North, 2 diamonds. Now, I am completely aware that you will play against opponents that do not do reverse bidding. You can ask them about it. What do you expect the 2 diamond bid to mean? Oh, it'll be strong. Okay, so in standard ACL, 2 diamonds is above the barrier. The barrier is 1 club, 2 clubs. Okay, so South would usually just rebid 2 clubs here with a weak hand, or bid a spade, of course, which is lower, 1 spade. But he's bid 2 diamonds, which should show 16 or more. 2 no trumps in response to the 4th suit forcing shows a spade stopper. And 3 no trumps. Sorry, what I said on the previous hand, someone saying about Grand Slam, what I said was they were going to make a Grand Slam try. They were not going to bid a Grand Slam. Okay, so what I'm saying is if it was 5 diamonds, okay. 2 spades is alerted by me, Charles. It isn't by the computer here. They've obviously, I may not have clicked the right thing on the conventions, but here 2 spades is alerted here. Okay, so we're sticking to this one. It's got a club, 2 diamonds, 2 no trumps. So before dummy comes down, you try and assess what's in the South hand. Now, you cannot be sure, but most of the time, given that he's bidding no trumps as well, you would feel that South should have a reasonably strong hand, therefore 16 or more points. Okay, that would be standard ACL. Okay, so we choose the King of Spades lead. Again, sorry about that. It's... And there is dummy. Dummy has come down with 12 points. We had 10, that is 22. So if we place South with 16 points, that is 38 points. That leaves partner with 2. Okay. Now, what we're talking about on Fridays at the moment, we're coming towards the end of it, is we have been counting. Okay. Now, what we do is we work out how many points we expect partner to have, which is 2, let's say. We then decide what he might hold. Well, we can see 3 queens. So he might hold the Queen of Diamonds. Remember, this is the maximum I expect him to hold. Or he might hold the odd jack. Now, you suddenly think to yourself, well, the Queen of Diamonds is completely and utterly useless to him. Because at some point, Declarer will surely play the Ace of Diamonds and take a diamond finesse. Okay, if he wants to. Does that make sense? So I'm thinking partner's Queen of Diamonds is useless, his Jack of Diamonds is useless, his Jack of Hearts, well, we'll soon find out whether he's got that, But that's probably going to be useless, because if he's got the Jack of Hearts, we know South is not long. So, okay, now, someone's saying, absolutely, you can't rely on your opponents necessarily having reverses, okay? But all you can do is remember that if they don't do them, they will generally do really badly against you. So if you tend to trust your opponent's auctions, you will tend to do best in the long run, because when they do bad bids, most of the time they get bad scores anyway, because they get to the wrong contract. So just, you know, enjoy the fact that they do it. Every so often though, you'll misjudge here. Okay, so what I'm saying to you here is bearing in mind that we are coming into Greedover in a moment. Okay, so let's see how the play goes. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so Declare has just won the ace of spades there, sorry. And he leads the 9 of hearts. Okay, so South wins the ace of spades and leads the 9 of hearts. And of course, in Greedover, this is a classic hand. It's a hand that I would have showed you last year when we were the Declarer play. Okay, so I will have decided at this point that the only tricks I expect to make as a defender are the ace of hearts, the queen and jack of spades. So as soon as I get the chance, I am going to take them. Now, if I've assessed my partner might have 5 or 6 points, I might have ambitions of getting this contract down. But if you make the decision that partner's unlikely to have any useful cards, you are ready to leap up with your ace and take the queen and jack of spades. Okay? Which is not an easy play, because obviously the standard thing to do is to duck the heart and hope your ace kills an honor later. Okay? But it's one of those classic stealing a trick hands. So let me just go back and let you show you the full hand. It's a classic stealing the trick hand, okay, where Declarer has a nice and comfortable 10 top tricks. He leads a low heart, and if you duck it, he makes 11 tricks. Okay, and I would expect a lot of players to duck it. It's a very nice play from South here. Okay, now it's a bit greedy. Why is it a bit greedy? Because he might have had 11 top tricks if the diamonds are breaking. Not only that, he might find that the opponents discard wrongly. So I'm not sure on this particular hand as Declarer I would have done it. But so often you do get a player to duck a heart. Remember, he's got a spade stopper. He won your king with the ace. That 10 of spades is a stopper. But the crucial thing on the hand anyway is that West is aware that he does not expect his partner to make any tricks at all on this hand. So by taking the 3 tricks, he gets the best score he can get. Does that make sense? And so knowing the number of points you've got on any given hand and placing your partner with what's in his hand can very quickly allow you to assess what you're aiming for. And playing pairs, it's so important. 3 no trumps is a classic contract. If you get a 1 no trump opening bid and dummy comes down with 16 points, for example, and they're in 3 no trumps, clearly your ambitions are very rarely to get the contract down. You've got 12 to 14 opposite 16. So unless you've got a dynamic 6-card suit that might come in, most of the time you're aiming to avoid over tricks. And it's such an important element. And so we're trying this counting. We're doing the little ones on the Friday and like we've just done there. But we've been counting for the last 8 Fridays. And if you fancy coming and joining us on the 9th, we're getting to the zenith of the topic. And that's our special offer this week, where you get the chance to join us on the Friday for half price, just £3, just £3 to join us. And I'm talking about counting the whole hand. And so I will give the warning at the end of it that it does cause sore heads, okay, but it's fun, so you're welcome to join us for that. So don't forget, if you're a member, you don't need to do that. Every so often I see the odd member paying for it, and we have to email you afterwards, or until you don't need to do that. And then we're going to do lots of example hands afterwards, for a couple of weeks afterwards as well, and then move on. I do try to do some counting on the teams games, our prize teams this one, so we always try and do that. Okay, our prize winner. Our prize winner is Lucy Burton. So well done, Lucy. I'll get an email to you over the next couple of weeks and tell you how that works. And let's finish with our bidding quiz here. I have overrun a bit this week. I apologise because I have got the beginners coming for those of you who have been waiting for that. We're looking at Stayman. So let's have a look at this. 1 no trump on your left, double from your partner, 2 clubs that is alerted. Okay, it must be some form of exit transfer. It is a transfer to diamonds, the 2 clubs double. You pass. 2 diamonds by North as agreement. So North has transferred. Your partner has then bid 2 hearts. Pass. So it goes 1 no trump, double from your partner. 2 clubs alerted as a transfer to diamonds. Pass from you. 2 diamonds from North. 2 hearts from your partner. And you then have to bid. So have a little think about that one. You can get the answer, don't forget, on the website, whether you're a member or a non-member. So I hope you enjoy that one. Some interesting bidding quizzes we've been having, revolving around the 1 no trump getting doubled, etc. Because of course you can't choose your opponents. So if they choose to play a system like exit transfers or something like that, getting used to trying to find the right bids in those auctions is a useful thing. Okay, so thanks for your company. Enjoy the week. We're counting again on Friday, as I say. We're still preempting if you can. You're welcome to send hands in still. And we've got our prize team on Wednesday. I'm going to do a little bit on beginners now. We're continuing with our discussions about Stayman. Okay. So, responding to 1 no trump. We talked about Stayman last week, and we said that it is an agreement that you have. It is a system. You agree that in response to an opening 1 no trump bid, that 2 clubs is going to ask a question. It's not going to show anything about clubs. It is going to ask partner whether they've got a 4-card major. And the reason we decided we needed it is because we want to choose whether to play in a no trump contract or to play in a major contract. And it can be difficult to decide. Okay, so you've got to agree this system. Now, you will find that 99% of players, including beginners, experts, and all those in between, play it. And that is exactly why I'm teaching you it from the start, because you will find that pretty much everybody will play this system. So let's remind ourselves, the 1 no trump 2 club says, partner, have you got 4 cards in a major? And the responder then answers. Now you'd love to say yes or no, but the answer you give is of course with a bid as well. 2 diamonds says, I do not have a 4-card major. And of course 2 hearts says, I've got 4 hearts. And 2 spades says, you've got 4 spades. However, you've got to know what to do when you've got both of them. And generally, if you've got both of them, you bid 2 hearts. So that's why it says I have 4 spades, but not 4 hearts. Because if I'd had both of them, partner, I would have responded 2 hearts. Okay. So with 4 spades and 4 hearts, you bid 2 hearts. So let's look at it in action. This is the hand we saw last week. And what I said to you is that if you were playing mini bridge, you would look at these 2 hands, you would see you'd have enough strength for game, but you would choose to play with hearts as trumps, even though both hands are balanced. And that is why we like to use Stayman, because 1 no trump, I've got a balanced hand. Oh, I've got a balanced hand as well, partner, but I do like the majors, so I wonder if you do. So rather than simply bidding 3 no trumps with the east hand, notice our clubs are a bit weak between the 2 hands, we bid Stayman. Partner, tell me about your majors. Oh, I've got 4 hearts if you want to know, partner. Magic news, partner. 4 hearts. We go for game. So that's what we saw last week. How on earth do we know when to bid Stayman or not? So we're going to make a plan, and that's so important. I'm going to teach you some other conventions as we go. We talked about Blackwood, for example. We've come across that. Every time you ever use a convention, you must have a plan for every different response. Okay? So with 11 or more points and at least one 4-card major, you can use Stayman. You'd like to find out whether you have a fit in the major. Because if you've got a fit, you'd like to play with the major as trumps. So let's do it. Let's make a plan. So if you've got at least one 4-card major in your hand, with 0 to 10 points, do not use Stayman. There is one proviso. If you're an experienced player, you will find that you can use it sometimes. As a beginner, we do not use it on weak hands. Okay? Our plan is going to be simple. We are going to use Stayman and either bid game or invite game. Okay? So experienced players will sometimes use Stayman on weaker hands, and I'm saying that now because if you happen to see it, you'll think, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, and then you'll realise that as you get more experience to the game, you can stretch the limits, as it were. So let's throw that out. We're not going to use Staymans on weak hands. What about 11 or 12 points? Well, when we respond to one no trump with 11 or 12 points, we want to invite partner to game, which says, partner, look, we might be able to make game if you've got a good hand. You've said you've got 12 to 14. Well, if you've got 14, let's go for it. So we're going to invite him. And we usually do that by bidding 1 no trump, 2 no trumps. Okay. Well, what we're going to do first, though, is bid Stayman. So let's say we use Stayman. If partner bids 2 diamonds, I haven't got a 4-card major, well, then I can bid 2 no trumps, can't I? Can you see that? I can invite partner in no trumps. And equally, I could do the same if he shows a major and I like it. Imagine it went 1 no trump, 2 clubs, 2 hearts. I could bid 3 hearts, partner. I like your hearts. What do you think? Does that make sense? And it's similarly if we're strong, but except if we're strong, we go for the game. So with 13 or more points, we bid Stayman and then go for game. If we find that we don't have a fit, we rebid 3 no trumps. If we find that we do have a fit, we raise to game in the fit. So there you've got 1 no trump, 2 clubs, 2 spades, 4 spades. Okay, so let's put it into action. Here's your hand. Your partner opens 1 no trump. You have 12 points. So, you haven't got any aces. You think there's a chance for game here. I could bid 2 no trumps and see if partner's going to go 3. But before I do that, I've got 2 beautiful majors. I want to see if partner's got a major suit fit. So I'm going to bid Stayman. My partner bids 2 diamonds. What do you fancy now? Well, disappointing that we haven't got a fit, but that's okay. I've made a plan. I'm going to invite my partner to game by bidding 2 no trumps. Okay. My partner now looks at his hand. He's got 12 points, which is minimum, so he passes 2 no trumps. So we finish in 2 no trumps. We haven't got a fit in a major, got 2 balanced hands, and we haven't quite got enough for game. So 2 no trumps was high enough. Let's try one more. 1 no trump from our partner. This time we've got 11 points. Okay. A couple of 10s in there as well. I think there's a chance for game, isn't there? You never know. So what I'm going to do is going to bid Stayman again. Because if my partner's got 4 hearts, I think I'd like to play in a heart contract. If he hasn't, I'll bid 2 no trumps and see if we can bid 3. So we bid Stayman. Partner does indeed bid 2 hearts. That's a bonus. So we've got a heart fit. What should you bid now? Well, we've decided we're not sure game is on, but we think game has a chance. So I am going to bid on the way to game. 3 hearts. Partner, look at your hand. If you think you've got a maximum hand, let's go for 4 hearts. If you think you've got a minimum, just leave me in 3 hearts. So here's your partner's hand. He's got 14 points and 4 hearts. So he bids 4 hearts. Okay, and you finish in a rather nice game contract. Aiming for 10 tricks. You've got 4 spades, 4 hearts, the ace of diamonds, and 1 ruff if you can make 1 ruff. Okay, that's the beautiful thing about playing in a trump contract. What happens is that although you've got 4 beautiful hearts there, ace, king, queen, jack between you, you can sometimes make 1 separately. Imagine you drew trumps in 3 rounds, you'd still have 1 left in each hand. So if you could lead maybe the 3rd round of diamonds, imagine you played the ace of diamonds and another diamond, and eventually you lead the 3rd round, you will be able to ruff that in the east hand. And that is an extra trick. So I think you'll make a comfortable 10 tricks in hearts. Interestingly, on this hand, you might make 3 no trumps. Okay, but that would only be 9 tricks. I think you might be able to make 10 in hearts. So I want to be in those fits. Using Stayman allows you to find your 4-4 fits. So that is enough for this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Stayman is tricky. It takes learning. It's rather, like I said before, it is like an irregular verb when you're learning a new language. In a way, you hate them, but generally the irregular verbs come up a lot, so you get good practice. That is the same with Stayman. Stayman will come up a lot. We use the weak no trump, which comes up a lot as well, so you get plenty of chance to practice, which means hopefully learning the system becomes easier because you get practice, but becomes worthwhile as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and see you for another one soon.